The morning sun bathed Maple Grove in a golden glow, a quiet suburban neighborhood where life usually unfolded predictably. I'm Harold Mitchell, a 52-year-old accountant who's called this place home for a decade. My modest split-level house, with its neatly trimmed lawn, is my sanctuary. I've always kept to myself, avoiding the neighborhood's occasional dramas. But that Tuesday, as I sipped coffee on my porch, trouble marched right up my walkway in the form of Margaret Hensley. Margaret, a woman in her late 50s with a rainbow t-shirt and a clipboard, strode down Oak Street like she owned it. Her graying hair was pulled back tightly, and her eyes burned with purpose. She stopped at my property line, scanning my yard like a hawk. No flags, no signs, no statements, just the way I liked it. "Excuse me," she called, her voice sharp enough to cut glass. "Are you the homeowner?" I set my mug down. "That's me. Can I help you?" She marched closer, uninvited. "I'm Margaret Hensley, president of the Maple Grove Unity Alliance. We're launching a neighborhood-wide Pride Month initiative. Every house is displaying a pride flag to show support for equality." Her clipboard, waved like a badge of authority, listed names I assumed were compliant neighbors. I glanced around. A few rainbow flags dotted the street, but plenty of houses stood bare. "That's nice," I said, keeping my tone even. "But I don't put up flags or symbols on my property." Her smile vanished. "This isn't political. It's about human rights. Surely you support the LGBTQ community." The question felt like a trap. "I support everyone's right to live freely," I said carefully. "But I keep my property neutral. It's just my preference." "Neutral?" Her voice climbed. "There's no neutral when it comes to equality. You're either an ally or part of the problem, Mr. Mitchell." I stood firm. I mind my own business and expect others to do the same. Margaret's face twisted with disgust. "This isn't over," she hissed, storming off. "You'll regret this." I shook my head, assuming she'd move on. I was wrong. By Friday, flyers appeared on neighbors' cars. "Hate lives here," with an arrow pointing to my house. My yard was toilet papered, my mailbox plastered with rainbow stickers. A note on my door read, "Last chance. Put up the flag or else." The handwriting was Margaret's bold and jagged, like her personality. My neighbor, Evelyn Carter, a retired librarian, came by with a flyer. "Margaret's telling everyone you're against equality," she said, frowning. "She's done this before, tried to ban the Wilsons' Christmas lights for being exclusionary." "Her Unity Alliance?" "It's just her." I explained my side over tea. Evelyn nodded. "Don't let her bully you, Harold. You've got rights." But Margaret's campaign intensified. Sunday, I woke to a small protest outside my house, 6 people chanting, "No hate in Maple Grove." Margaret led them, megaphone in hand, calling me a bigot. Neighbors watched, some nodding with her. That evening, my friend Carl called. "She's posted about you online, saying you threatened her and used slurs. People are calling for boycotts of your business." I was stunned. "That's a lie. I never said those things." "You need to act, man. She's dangerous." I contacted my attorney, Laura Bennett, a no-nonsense lawyer with a knack for handling bullies. "Margaret's documenting her own crimes," Laura said after reviewing my evidence, photos, videos, the note. "We'll send a cease and desist letter. If she escalates, we'll have her." The letter went out Wednesday. Friday, Margaret pounded on my door, waving it. "You think you can silence me?" she screamed. "I recorded everything. I'm asking you to stop harassing me," I said calmly. "That's all." "You're the one who's unreasonable," she shouted, trying to force her way in. Neighbors watched as she ranted about my hate. Finally, she stormed off, yelling, "I'm calling the police. You'll be arrested for hate crimes." Laura was thrilled with the footage. "She's handed us harassment, attempted forced entry, and threats of false reports. Let her call the cops." Saturday, 2 cruisers pulled up. Officer Daniels, whom I knew from a past neighborhood incident, listened as I showed him the evidence. Margaret had claimed I'd threatened violence and used slurs. My recording proved otherwise. "You're the victim here," Daniels said. "We'll talk to MS. Hensley about false reports." That's a crime. Relief washed over me, but Margaret wasn't done. That evening, a note appeared. "The police can't protect you forever." The handwriting matched hers. I called Laura. "This is a direct threat," she said. "We're getting a restraining order." Monday, Evelyn brought me a newsletter Margaret had distributed, Local bigot silences equality advocate, with my house on the cover. It accused me of slurs and violence. She's trying to get you kicked out, Evelyn said. Most neighbors think she's unhinged, but a few believe her. At Tuesday's hearing, Laura presented our evidence. Margaret's lies crumbled under scrutiny. Judge Larson granted the restraining order, barring her from contacting me or coming near my property. He also referred her case to the DA for false reports and harassment. Margaret's face paled as she left the courtroom. That night, a brick crashed through my window with a note. This is just the start. My neighbor's security camera caught Margaret throwing it. By Wednesday, she was arrested for violating the restraining order, vandalism, and threats. But the real shock came later. Laura called weeks later, her voice tense. The FBI's been investigating Margaret. Her real name's Vivian Holt, a serial fraudster wanted in multiple states for identity theft, extortion, and weaponized activism. She targets people like you, Harold, to provoke conflicts and file fake insurance claims. Investigative reporter Julia Reyes uncovered more. Vivian had studied my background, knowing I was a black man, assuming I'd cave to accusations of bigotry. She'd done this to dozens of minority families, exploiting their fear of being labeled intolerant. Her manifesto, found in her car, revealed her twisted logic. I exposed suburban hypocrisy by forcing people to show their true prejudices. Vivian's trial was a spectacle. Victims testified about ruined lives, lost jobs, broken families, even a suicide attempt. She was convicted on over 200 counts, sentenced to life without parole. Her empire of fraud collapsed, leaving her bankrupt and disgraced. I received $47,000 in restitution, covering my losses. Maple Grove healed. Neighbors apologized for doubting me. The story sparked national debates about activism and bullying. LGBTQ groups denounced Vivian's tactics, emphasizing dialogue over coercion. Law enforcement began training to spot her methods. Standing at a conference months later, I spoke to officers about resisting bullies. Evil hides behind righteousness, I said. Stand firm, and truth prevails. Driving home, I passed Vivian's old house, now home to a young family. My yard remained flag-free, a testament to my principles. Vivian's schemes unraveled because good people refused to be silenced. Justice, it turns out, has a way of settling scores. What do you think about this story? Have you faced bullying or injustice in your life? Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's discuss where you stand on standing up to aggression and fighting for fairness. Your voice matters.